Speaking for James Sales were Betty Lou Dalton, Fernando Lopez, and Jeremy Martinez. For Anna, Connie Scott, Lloyd Neal, and Mike Bertuzzi. Immediately thereafter, a vote was taken, needing 21 plus 1 to win. Results showed that Anna Jimenez received 26 votes and James Sales 16. Announcements were made that a candidate fundraiser would be June 22nd at the barbecue mat. Tom Knight challenged attendees to match his $250 donations to Ana Jimenez and Angelica Hernandez. Mike Pusley gave thanks for the proceedings. Motion made by Chairman McLean to adjourn, and it was seconded by Victor Byrd, respectively submitted June Gildersleeve, May 19, 2010.
Are there any changes to the minutes? Yes, sir.
Just a question. I believe that there was a discussion at the meeting whether there were rules or not rules that appointed the election or the appointment of officers. I think a motion, or the chair priority said that in the absence of rules, they were waived. Something happened and some rules were waived, correct? So that the chairman could exercise authority to appoint. Did that not happen at the meeting?
I remember a short discussion about, that was discussion with you?
Because one of the things that I said was, we said, well, what rules shall we use in the absence of rules? And I said, well, if you use SREC rules, then some of the appointments are subject to approval by the executive committee. And so there was waiver of rules to appoint, which is why you assigned the committee.
Well, as I recall the discussion, it was under the Roberts rules, proceeding under the Roberts rules for those appointments.
Yeah, I just thought that that should be stated as part of the official records, how that occurred and why it occurred.
Okay, so do you
Just that the
have a
chair-
motion you want to state? So we
Well,
can,
no, I'm just saying for correction of the minutes.
that's what I'm saying, do you have
Correction.
a correction to
That
state?
the minutes should reflect, I don't know if you agree, that in the absence of rules, the chairman deferred to Robert's rules and exercised the power of appointment.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to let the minutes reflect the correction that and I have to restate this.
In the
correction.
absence of rules, then the chair elected to use Robert's rules and to appoint as opposed to election or any other, because there's no rules saying anything different. How do you say it, Vanessa? You know how to say it. Right, in the absence of bylaws.
All right. So the motion on the floor and seconded is that we correct the minutes by saying that in the absence of bylaws, the chairman proceeded under the Roberts Rules of Order to appoint the officers. Is that?
To appoint the officers, right, as
Is that
opposed to
fair?
election.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the motion on the floor.
And that's why they started taking nominations.
That's the motion on the floor.
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Who was
opposed?
the second?
Who was the?
Angie.
Angie.
Good.
We will let the minutes reflect those changes, and we'll
Thank you.
keep them in the official records, and thank you, you were correct on that. Any other,
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
the one-
ma'am.
The one that nominated James Sales is not named Mary Lou.
where is that? Okay, so is there a correction to the name?
Betty Lou.
Betty Lou?
Betty
Okay.
Lou Dalton.
Thank you.
Okay.
And also, someone else that spoke for Mr. Sales was Aubrey Bryan. I didn't hear that in there. Was it? Okay. I just couldn't hear because someone was talking again, like you said. Thank you so much.
So there's a motion on the floor that we show the minutes corrected to reflect Betty Lou instead of Mary Lou. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Tom Knight seconded the motion. All opposed, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Are there any more corrections to the minutes?
Move adoption of the minutes with the corrections.
I'm sorry.
I move that we approve the adoption of the minutes with the corrections.
All right, there's a motion on the floor that we approve the minute. the minutes as corrected and adopt the minutes as corrected. David Sharp seconded. A couple of seconds. All in favor of the approval of the minutes as corrected, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. The minutes are approved as corrected. All right. Move on to the chairman's report. I'm pleased to report, I don't need to bend over. I think if anybody can't hear me, just wave. I'm pleased to report that tomorrow is the official opening of the party headquarters, 4466 South Staples, Suite C. If more than 5 people show up at one time, it's going to be crowded, but that's okay. We've got a home. We're going to cut ribbon tomorrow at noon. Anybody is welcome to attend. I've invited Judge Greenwell to snap the ribbon in two for us. He thinks he won't have any problem in being there. Anybody is welcome to come and hang out there. With that being said, I'm going to be looking for some volunteers to help staff the office. Initially, what I'd like to do is have a couple of days a week with some evening hours for people that work, want to come get material, register to vote, whatever. And then the other 3 days a week is with some early hours. What I've proposed is Monday and Wednesday from 4 to 8. I've already got one of those days covered with a volunteer. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 to 2. As the demand increases, so will the availability and the hours. So if anybody's interested in helping us out there, let us know. I also want to visit with you guys. I'm having some feedback that people are not getting their meeting calls. Fortunately, most of you are here. I forgot to do this at the beginning, just to make note of the fact of who made it tonight. And this is going to be easy. In an empty chair, there's a name. And if there's an empty chair next to you, will you look at it and tell me the name by it?
Ed Ward.
And what precinct number is it?
Edward Lewis, precinct 8.
Yeah, is everyone sitting in the seat that their name's on? Okay. All right, Mr. Dalton?
Precinct 27, Paula Greening.
Okay.
Precinct 54. I took your spot. Sorry.
All right. Mr. Palmer?
Mr. Chairman, Precinct 106, June Gildersleeve.
Yes.
Yeah, precinct 64, Modi Boatright.
I saw him.
He's sitting in the back.
Okay, then what about 63, Kira Rose?
63 Kara Rose. Mr. Rob?
Precinct 110, Romero Lopez.
Precinct 89, Gracie Bubusi.
Are there any other?
Precinct 95, Chris Dishman.
Is that the one you were going to? Are there any other empty chairs that I need to mark down? Great. That way I didn't have to call everybody else's name.
What about 123, D. Stokes?
Mr. Stokes, I believe, has moved out of his precinct. And his chair is now vacant. Three, 6, 7. Awesome. That means we have 40 people present and 7 not present. Yes, sir.
John, I represent precinct 115. I'm here, but was not invited.
Well, it wasn't because we didn't want you here, I assure you.
This is your chance to tell me to leave.
No. In the letter,
Thank you.
has anybody not filled out one of these on their notice of call letters? There's a place down at the bottom, certify your address. I need to make sure my records are current because that's keeping people from not getting notices. All right. If everybody will please fill one of these out and turn it in to
Mr. Chairman?
the interim secretary, that would be awesome.
So if you got the notice, you really don't have to fill that out because you know you got the notice.
Well, but I don't know who here didn't get a notice, so, and I don't know who wasn't here didn't get a notice. And I would like just a current one for everyone that's here, just for the record.
Point of information,
Yes, sir.
when we were sworn in as precinct chair, we signed forms and sent the paperwork into the office. So all of our names, addresses, signatures should all be in your possession.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I do have copies of those. If anybody has moved, you have to tell me, so I know where you are, so I can get you notices. Mr. Gergovich, did you have the extra copies, Mr. Chairman? Would you set them up here on the front? And I would appreciate it if y'all would grab one and just fill it out on the way out. That would be nice.
If anybody's not here, signify by saying aye.
Precinct chairs, has everybody gotten their precinct chair manual? I have emailed a manual out. They are accessible through our website. It has a lot of good information on helpful hints to help you do your job. Part of your job, instead of just sitting here looking pretty, is to help get out the vote, identify voters in your neighborhood, energize them, and let us know what's going on in your precinct with respect to that aspect. Part of the proceedings here today I need to discuss with y'all is committees. I'm having a lack of volunteers for committees. I did have one, Mr. Sharp, that is very active in his precinct. He has asked for just a short minute to address the body, to let you know what he is doing as an example. He is not on the agenda, however, I feel it's important for him to know that, unless someone has an objection with that. All right, Mr. Sharp, are you ready to come tell us what you're doing in your precinct? Did I catch you off guard? You weren't ready yet? Go ahead, David. And that's one of the committees I want to do, and he's volunteered to head that one up to help the organization, the precinct chairs develop a procedure, or whatever y'all think is necessary to help get out the vote. We've got 60 some odd days left, and it's time to get busy.
So basically, what I've done, this is out of the precinct chair's handbook. I basically developed a spreadsheet with my precinct, the names of the Republican voters. I got this off the voter vault, and basically I'm going right now in the process of is going out and visiting the folks within my precincts, getting to know who they are. I'm finding it's a lot more work than I had originally thought it would take a lot longer. It's going to take a lot longer than I originally thought it would. Okay. That's another story. But that's my goal, is to go out there and go out. What I'd like to do is to be able to recruit, basically some block captains, basically people to help me out. Because of the, I'm involved in one of the campaigns, it's slowed all that stuff down.
All right. Thank you. Like I say, it's very important that you guys get out and beat the bushes, and I'm sure many of y'all are already active, know a lot of your neighbors. Recruit some help. If they say, gee, what can we do to help? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Let's put people to work and get them pumped up. If we don't win this one, guys, we're in deep doo-doo. So we gotta all pull together and work hard to get this done.